Friends, welcome back to my channel. This is Varun. Today I am going to explain you about amplitude modulation concepts. Here we go. Introduction to amplitude modulations is nothing but AM. It is just short form. Amplitude modulation is a method of encoding information by varying the amplitude of a carrier wave. So here in the diagram, a message signal is passed through the modulation where it is modulated signal, and carrier signal is also passed through modulation. When message signal and carrier signal is combined, then we get the modulated signal. The modulation process alters the strength of the carrier signal in proportion to the waveform being transmitted. AM is widely used in broadcasting, two-way radio communication, and radar systems. We can see amplitude modulation in radio signals or radio stations where they broadcast or they use in the processing of a transaction signals. Basics of amplitude modulation. In AM, the amplitude of the carrier wave is varied in accordance with the instantaneous amplitude of the modulating signal. The modulating signal is typically an audio signal representing sound or data that needs to be transmitted. The modulation index is a key parameter in the AM that determines the extent of variation in the carrier wave. Here is a carrier signal, amplitude modulated signal, which combines the amplitude modulation signals. Advantages of amplitude modulation. AM is relatively simple to implement and does not require complex circuitry. It is efficient in terms of power consumption compared to other modulations techniques. AM signals can be easily demodulated using simple receivers. Here, the waveforms represents the amplitudes, modulation, baseband signal, carrier signal, and modulated signal waveforms. Disadvantages of amplitude modulation. AM is susceptible to noise and interference, which can degrade the quality of the received signal. It has limited bandwidth efficiency compared to other modulation schemes like frequency modulation FM. The power efficiency of AM decreases as the modulation indexes increases. Here, modulating signal VM sin omega mt, which is a modulating signal, a carrier wave, and an amplitude modulated wave. Applications of amplitude modulation. AM is widely used in commercial broadcasting for transmitting audio signals over long distances. It is also utilized in the two-way radio communication systems for voice transmission. Radar systems employ AM for target detection and range applications. Double sideband amplitude modulation DSP AM. DSP AM is a type of AM where both the upper and lower sidebands are transmitted. This results in redundant transmission of the carrier signal and consumes more power compared to SSP AM. DSP AM is similar to demodulate, but it is less bandwidth efficient. Single sideband amplitude modulation SSB AM. SSB AM eliminates one of the sidebands and the carrier signal, resulting in more efficient use of bandwidth. SSP AM requires more complex demodulation techniques but offers improved spectral efficiency. It is commonly used in long distance communication and amateur radio operations. Vestigial sideband amplitude modulation VSB AM is a variant of AM where one sideband is partially suppressed to reduce bandwidth requirements. This technique is commonly used in analog television broadcasting to conserve spectrum. VSB AM requires sophisticated signal processing for demodulation and decoding. Amplitude modulation versus frequency modulation. AM and FM are two primary modulation techniques used in communication systems. AM encodes information in the amplitude of the carrier wave, while FM modulates the frequency. Here, amplitude of the carrier waves, while FM means modulates the frequency. FM is less susceptible to noise and offers better audio quality but requires more bandwidth compared to AM. Now, the conclusion, the last part of the amplitude modulation. Amplitude modulation is a fundamental modulation technique with various applications in communications and broadcasting. Understanding the principles of AM modulation is crucial for designing efficient communication systems. Despite its limitations, AM continues to be widely used due to its simplicity and effectiveness in transmitting information. Thank you.